I've gotten a few requests for a video for how I do my eyeshadow, so this is it. I've got the rest of my face makeup done, but I'm going to start with a little eyeshadow primer by MAC. It's called Paint Pot. I'm going to just get a little bit of that on my middle finger. This is brand new, so I kind of have to work it in at the beginning. And then just kind of stroke that across both eyelids. That's what they're called. Make sure you have enough in there. This eyeshadow primer will change the game of how long your eyeshadow lasts, and I highly, highly recommend it. It'll also prevent your eyeshadow from creasing, which is extremely annoying when you put even a little bit of time into your makeup and then by about 5 o'clock that night you realize you've had only eyeshadow in the crease of your eye. So put a little bit of this Paint Pot on. And then I normally like to set that with a little bit of powder, and I just use whatever powder is left over from putting my face makeup on. So I just dust that over both eyes, just so it's not super vibrant when I put the shadow on. So the two colors I'm using today are some of my new colors. I'm going to start with the main color to be Cory. It's by MAC. So I'm going to use a brush, kind of a wider fan brush, and just stroke that all the way across my lid. And I usually like to go higher than I actually leave the color, and I use my finger to sort of soften that out. So go up to about there. I'll do the same on the other side. Good brushes make a big difference. I don't believe you have to spend $50 on a brush, but maybe I should say more than good brushes, the right size brushes. So a bigger fan brush like this one is good for kind of covering your entire lid. So now I'm going to do the outer corners of my eyes with a color by MAC called Scene. It's a little bit of a darker gray. And I've got a smaller brush here so I can kind of concentrate it in the corner. I don't want this to be too much of a smoky eye because it is daytime, but I do want a little bit of exaggeration in the corner. So you just slowly start by pressing it in and kind of going up sort of where you ended the first color. And if you wanted it a little bit darker, you could just press more in and maybe make your way a little bit closer to the center of your face. I like to finish with liner sometimes if I want the liner to be more exaggerated, and then other times I'll put the liner on first if I want it to be a little bit softer. So you can see I'm just kind of, since it's a subtle color difference from the original color, I don't have to be super precise with it. Because while I do spend time on my makeup, I don't want to have to make every single swipe count. You can see I'm just kind of pressing it in there mostly and softening the edges so it's not a line and there's only a triangle at the corner. Do a little bit more over here. Okay, so I've got the corners done with the the stone. Another option for you is to use an angled brush, which is just on the other side of my fan brush. I'll just show you really quick. You could just put that in and sort of just twist that in your hand so you cover the corners. It's really just a preference thing. Okay, so we've got the corners done. This is typically when I do eyeliner, if I'm going to do it after the shadow. I've got a MAC eyeliner pencil. It's not too pointy, it's a little bit softer, so it's, again, a little bit more forgiving as you're putting it on. And I start sort of at the edge of the colored part of my eye and go out. And I do short little strokes like that. And then if you need to, you can kind of pull your eyelid to help pull it out a little bit. Okay, so we've got the liner done on that side. helps to keep your eyes open as you're putting your makeup on, so you can see what you're doing. Some people shut one of their eyes when they're putting liner on, which can work fine, but I find that you can kind of see if it's balanced. If both your eyes are open, you can see what you're doing. Okay, so we've got the liner on. Let me pull this one out a little bit. Okay, so here's where we're going to soften the top part and not leave the shadow sort of undone. I like a big puffy brush for this, and I'm going to use just a little bit of the powder that I wear on my face. That's the most natural, so it's not too much of a highlighted brow. It's the most natural way to just kind of soften the line from where the shadow ends into the rest of your face. So you can see that just kind of cleans up that top half. If you like to be a little bit lighter at the corner of your nose, you can just dust a little bit of powder in there. You can also use a shadow that's lighter. I have Vanilla by MAC, but sometimes I like to just use powder. It's easier, it's right here, I don't have to think about it. And if you have to go in and clean up or even out any of the shadow on either side, just take whatever powder or eyeshadow is left on your brush and fill in a little bit in case you went too low on one side, so you're balanced out. So there's the shadow. This is where I would put on mascara and then finish with a little liner at the bottom and then put some mascara on the bottom lashes too. Everyone has their own way of doing mascara. I typically start with one swipe of Lash Blast by CoverGirl, and then I've really been liking this new mascara by MAC. It's called False Lashes. My lashes, you probably can't see them, which explains how terrible they are, so I need a lot of help in the mascara department. But I like these two together because this gives you sort of the coverage and then this extends your lashes so they look super long. So however you typically do mascara, go ahead and do that with the new eyeshadow tutorial. But I hope this helps you. Again, these were MAC shadows that I used, and I'll list them at the end, but eyeshadow is kind of a personal opinion sort of thing. I mean, everyone's got their own favorites, so you can do whatever you want with whatever colors. I would just do lighter at the base or on the entire lid, and then do a little bit darker at the outer corner. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks!